there, guys. Welcome to Monday Study. Monday, Unity Through Diversity is one of the most beautiful days of Sabbath School study I think I've ever looked at. I absolutely love today's study. It centers us in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 12 to 31. Here Paul mentions, in fact, go back to yesterday just for a quick minute. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 4 to 6, the Bible says this: there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are differences of ministries, but the same Lord. And there are diversities of activities, but it's the same God who works in all. Notice the word same. It is the same Spirit. It is the same God. We are connected to the same person, unified, right? Unified by the power that is giving the gifts, the power that's working through the gifts, right? We are unified. This is Paul mentions that we are one and the same. Mentions one and the same Spirit. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 11. The body also is one body. He mentions one Spirit. 1 Corinthians 12:13, and the same care for one another. 1 Corinthians 12:25. He is saying that even though there are many members, the body is one. He goes through this process over and over again. The body is one. Each member is a member of one body. And then Paul uses this metaphor of a diverse human body. And he says, in 1 Corinthians chapter 12 to 31, he says, now, if the eye can say to the hand, I don't need you, right? And the ear can say to the mouth, I don't need you. And, the parts of the body work together as one. You can't have just one body part, because then what would happen to the entire body? In fact, he goes on to say, we can't say that some parts of the body are more honorable than others, and that we don't like certain parts and therefore won't honor them. In fact, we should honor the parts of the body that sometimes don't get a whole lot of shine, don't get a whole lot of publicity, don't get a whole lot of celebrity. Everything can be in a beautiful eye, but if the eye didn't have feet, and the feet couldn't execute, what the eye sees and where it wants to go, or the mind wants to go, the body wants to go, then the eye would be almost of no worth, no effect. So all of the parts of the body are valuable. All of them have meaning and purpose, and therefore we need them all, right? Critical point that I think Paul is making. The central thought is that although the body's members are individually so different from one another, they are dependent on each other, right? And in that dependency, there is connection and communion and unity. Unfortunately, there is a tendency in the church to prefer certain people over others, prefer certain gifts over others. And when that happens, there is a breakdown in the body. One of the things that the Apostle Paul warns about, he says that there should be no schism or no division in the body, right? There should be none. And then he closes 1 Corinthians 12 with a discussion of the gifts. And God has appointed to the church first apostles, prophets, teachers, miracles, gifts of healings, helps, administration, various kinds of tongues. But all can be apostles, all can be prophets, all can be any of that. But then he says, listen, and I show you, right? Earnestly desire the greater gifts, but let me show you a more excellent way. What is that excellent way? The practice of love with the gifts, no matter the gift, makes the work of God excellent, makes the unity better, makes the connection stronger, makes the witness more effective. Love is the thing that binds the body together and empowers the gifts. That's the excellent way. No matter your gift, no matter if it gets publicity or not, do it well and do it in love. That's our study today.